Hey, what's going on, everybody? So we had FOMC today, and basically, the price, as we were talking about yesterday and the day before, is when price comes down into FOMC, that's usually a good place to mark a local bottom. And we can see the bottom came in here last night, and then we started actually trending higher, and then we had that press release come in, right? Basically a piece of paper and written statement. We popped to the upside, and then once Powell started speaking, we came all the way back down, and we're retesting or back testing this area here. So you can see right here we had a little we had a little range right here, and we're playing around in the range. We broke out, now we're coming down to back test. So, and we're getting a pretty nice impulse off of that region. I mean, we did get pretty oversold here on the smaller time frames. So I managed to catch the short right here. You see how this is moving down, boom, boom, broke the low. It broke this low, but look at this. See how it came up in 3, and it came up fast right into the retracement level, and then you can start to see these little candles in here getting smaller and smaller, and then boom, that red candle kind of confirmed it. I took the short and I let it ride, and I actually sold it right here. I sold it too early. I wish I would have held it down here, but hey, it is what it is. So then I saw this base getting formed in here. I took a long, but I wasn't sure if we were going to get another hit to the low, so I actually sold it here. So now I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. So all in all, not too bad. Could have done better, totally, but I'm happy we got some profits. But that's not what people want to hear. People want to hear about their portfolios and their profits, and most people are long, and I'm long too on the macro, and I see it continuing to go higher. Now, what happens in this range is kind of irrelevant, right? Because here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range, and we're somewhere right here. So in my opinion, like I've been saying, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and the 5th was a truncated wave. And now we have 1, 2, 3 waves down. We have this spike back up, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if we get 3 more back down and get right down into this level that we've been talking about that 64, 65K area. And I mean, it can even go, somewhere in this range without breaking 60K. As long as we hold above 60K, I think we got plenty more bullish upside to go. So one of the things, we were looking at here, right, is, again, the possibility of getting back down in this range. Now, maybe we don't get there, right? Maybe that range won't get tested. Could it be finished now? This could be, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, reaccumulation, go. Or we have 1, 2, 3, and this is A, this is B, and now we're getting C, right? And C, let's see, did that take the high? Okay, so C would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then something like that. Now, if I zoom in, did we have that first wave here? Let's see. Yes, we did. So I could technically say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this is a 3-wave pullback and a big impulse to the downside. So I'm imagining another 3-wave pullback and then kind of take out this low here. That would be what I would like to see, because it would allow this wave to kind of finish up here, and then because it doesn't look doesn't look like it's finished, in my opinion. Now, some of the altcoins kind of do look finished, right? Like when we look at Ethereum, it has that finished, almost finished look to it, right? So we'll jump into that. But yeah, so basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, go, or 1, 2, 3. This whole thing is wave 4, A, B, C, some kind of flat, and is a flat done though? I mean, we could have another hit to the low, or it could be finished now. So, but essentially, right, we would be looking for higher prices after that hit to the low. So that's kind of the tricky part, is figuring out when the wave is actually finished. But all in all, we should be happy. We should be looking for more bullish price action in the weeks and months to come, provided that this yellow box gets held as support. So we really haven't officially back tested this range in here yet. So that's why I'm kind of waiting to see. We did, however, if we look at this here, and then I put this here, right? We came up, we made a double bottom, but look what we did. This is what is interesting. We came all the way down and we actually broke the low here, and then we quickly shot back up. So this could be a Wyckoff accumulation schematic. So I pulled up a different example, but it's essentially the examples we've been looking at here. But I don't really like it a lot, but I guess you could say, this move up, this move up, this move down, this move down, we come back up, and now we're going into the creek or the spring. We're going into the creek or the spring. You can see we take out the lows in here, and then we quickly reverse. We took out the lows, we quickly reverse. So, but then we got a dump here, and that's normal, right? When you go up very, very fast after a big dump, you usually come back down and retrace it. The trick there, the key is when you come back down, is to hold support, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, that was pretty volatile. We had this massive move up, and now this massive move down, and now we're coming back up. So lots of volatility in there, people getting shaked out. So that's kind of it here. Moving on to the S&P 500 actually is at a new all-time high, if I recall. Yeah, so I mean, this is the perfect environment. If crypto is going to run, it should run relatively quickly, probably within by the end of the year, I would say. It doesn't have much time before we get a substantial correction in the stock market, and then it would be more difficult for crypto to continue to pump. So we have Bitcoin at an all-time high. We have many coins like Theta that have a beautiful correction, right? ABC, right? We're building a base here, and this base is a really interesting Wyckoff accumulation here, right? Like I've showed yesterday, I'll show it again. So we can see, right? We're coming down. We have 3 up, 3 up. We come down, come back down, and then we go 3 up. We go 3 up, and then we go and look at this right here. Look at the creek right in here. It's perfect. Look at the creek right in here. It's literally perfect. And then we shoot to the downside. We shoot to the downside. We grab that liquidity, guys. We grab that liquidity, and then bam, we shoot back up to the upside. So, this is kind of like the grand finale right here. So I kind of did it early today, but that's kind of what I'm looking at for the price of Theta. And that's been, the case ever since we lost the bull market support band. I would have liked to see it be a 1-2-1-2 off the bull market support band, but we lost it. But now when you look at Wyckoff, it makes sense as to why that happened. So here's the example. If you look closely, you can see what we're talking about here, right? You have this move up, this move back down, this three-wave move up, this creek, break to the downside. You can see right here, we break this low, we break this low, we grab the liquidity, and then we shoot back up. So is that what's happening with the price of Theta? Not financial advice. It totally could be. Totally could be. So one of the things we've been talking about is what is happening here. So basically, idea number one is that this is an A, B, C. And we're going to come down and back test this top here and then go to the upside. So that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're going to fly. And when I mean fly, I mean really fly. And that's provided that it holds, right? If this, if we have a big stock market hit, a big Bitcoin dump, and things get too out of hand, we could lose this support. But then we have one more fail safe, which is right here. If we lose that, then it's going to be bad, right? But as of now, we're impulsing to the upside, correcting to the downside. Impulsing to the upside. Look at all the chop. We're correcting to the downside. That's how you know we're in an uptrend, right? And then another way you know we're in an uptrend is because when you zoom out, actually, let me get to this chart here. You can see, I don't know why that thing always pops on my chart. You can see, right, we've broken out, obviously, of this massive base here, this massive accumulation schematic. So, and then as we're impulsing out of this box, you can see we're going down correctively in a three-wave shape, which is very bullish. So that's idea number one, is basically getting down here and back testing this high, this high, this high, and confirming it as new support, right? Breaking out is easy. Coming down and back testing it and confirming new support, that's hard, right? That's more difficult, but that's kind of, it's up to the crypto gods for it to hold there, or whatever you believe. The TA. So but yeah, that's it there. And then the other idea we just talked about is this being Wyckoff accumulation. This is the spring, this is the liquidity grab. So we should start that. Basically that was the low, right? According to this idea, that was the low. If we break that low again, then you're more likely to have that other idea where we come down and back test. But if we shoot back into this range here, so here's the range right here. It's not perfect, forgive my drawing, but you get the idea right there, right? If we get back into that range, which we're starting to now, then it's going to look really, really good for continuation to the upside, basically Wyckoff. And I really like it as Wyckoff because of the way it came down. It came into this little creek here, it popped the high, it came down, it retested it, and now it kind of came down and got everybody bearish, but you actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? You had 7 waves inside of a creek, inside of a spring, right? So we'll see. Now here, basically, this is exactly what, is happening based off what we said yesterday, right? So yesterday I said, if we break down, and then, which we did, and then we shoot back up, which we're doing, and if we break above this line, which maybe we will, and then we come down and we back test and hold it as support, I basically said that would be a good opportunity to potentially go long, right? And that would be the beginning of this Wyckoff pattern breakout to the upside, right? So that's basically what exactly what we talked about yesterday. Now, the other thing we talked about is also happening, which is we break to the downside, and if we come back up and we test it as resistance, right? This is, guys, we're right there. We're right at the line. So, if we come up and test it as resistance and get rejected here, then we're going to look for more downside. You see what I mean? So this is do or die. This is basically a very fine line between option number 1 and option number 2. No particular order, right? No particular order. So again, are we gonna come here and test it as resistance, come down, then go as a 1-2-1-2, or is this a spring phase? We're gonna break back above the support line, hold it as support, then continue to fly. I mean, that's the big question. And my answer to that is I have to wait and see. I have to watch it, right? I mean, right now it's kind of looking bullish. It's starting to, pump to the upside. Let's see if we can see anything on a smaller time frame here. So I like this wick here. We came down, we had this little base, and we slammed down. We grabbed liquidity, it bought back up, and then look, it made a higher low in here. Made a higher low, then it made a double bottom, and then we broke that top. We pulled back, we slingshotted back to this box in here, which is resistance, and then we came back down, but now we're kind of coming back to the upside. So let me get a better chart here. There we go. So I wouldn't go all in just yet, but dollar cost averaging is exactly the strategy to play here, because we don't really know because what we have, right, is only 3 waves. This is a 3-way pullback. What we want to see is this is wave 4, and then we want to see wave 5. If we can get 4 and 5, it's going to be bullish, because then we would look for an ABC, and then we would look to get back above that resistance, hold it as support, and then continue higher. So very, very, very interesting timing. Let me actually zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to put the line right here. You could see how respected that trend line was right there, and you can see we actually broke back above it, right? So we're actually back above it. Let me put another one. I'm putting it right on the close, right? So you can see this one we're not back above yet. So that's kind of the zone, right? That's the zone between $1.90 and $1.92, and we're literally at $1.91. So that's the zone we need to hold in order for the Wyckoff Spring to take effect. Now, another thing, right? Typically when you have, if it is a 7-wave bottoming type of situation, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you usually pop to the upside, but then you kind of flag out like this, and then continue higher. That's kind of what happens after you get 7, what I've noticed, but we'll see. So what if I can choose what the market is going to do? This is what I would make it do right here. So actually, let me go to the 1 hour. This is kind of the best case scenario that I would like to see. So the bottom is in, right, according to what I'm about to say, and we just pop to the upside like what we just did. What I want to see is an A, which we got, a B, which we're probably gonna get, and then come back down, and C, and actually back test $1.84 right in here. So this range right in here, we broke out of it. Let's ABC and back test the top of the range. Take a long right here, right, under this scenario, right, and then break that line, hold it as support, maybe play around a little bit, and then continue to pump. That would be my favorite scenario, and that would create an inverse head and shoulders, that would back test, and that would allow, you know, people to get into the market, right? Because you don't really want to enter a trade when it's already, you know, gone to the upside, because it could be a dead cat bounce, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing, and that's what I would like to see what happens. Now, what also could happen, right, is this doesn't turn into a B wave, but we kind of get up here, we play around, and then we spike the high like that, and then come down. And that would actually maybe even be better, because you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But if we came down ABC, that would be a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we'll see what happens in here. It's kind of up for grabs of what it's going to do. So we all know the risk, we all know the reward, we all know the ideas. So let's allow it to play out and see what happens here. If I'll tell you what, you draw this line again here, right about there, right? It wasn't so much respected, but if we break back above that line, right, that's going to be very bullish. Yeah, let me try to make it as conservative as I can. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, it'll have to do. So getting back above that line is critical. All right, well, let's move on. I mean, Bitcoin, we talked about it already. I mean, we do have a 3-wave shape, right? You can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So that's a WXY. So it could be finished. It could be finished. And what this is, right? Again, it could be 1, 2, 3, right? And then we have WXY for wave 4. And now we're in the middle of wave 5. And wave 5, you need 5 waves. So we just got 5, or we just got the first one. This is an idea though. So 2, right? Now we get 3, 4, and 5. So that's kind of how you would imagine it, right? And then there's your 5 waves. So essentially you got, what am I trying to do? Okay, right here, yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And if we can get that, right? If we can get this, then that becomes a new all-time high breakout, right? And then we would probably get an ABC and back test all of this area in here, and then hopefully continue to the upside in that wave 3, right? So remember, this is the 5th of the 5th, right? And in the 5th wave, you have 5 waves, and right now this is the first wave of that 5 waves potentially, right? But we need this to come up, and that would be wave 1. Then we pull back for wave 2, and then we would go up for wave 3 and pull back 4 and 5, and then the bear market is here, right? And that's basically all you get. So, hopefully there's an alt season somewhere in those waves, provided we get that, right? That's kind of the ultra bullish thing. The more neutral thing is, rise, crash, retrace, and now we're basically in reaccumulation. We're basically revving up here. We can move down. I mean, the reaccumulation is actually a big zone. It could be up here, it could be down here. Whatever the case may be, the phase is reaccumulation. And then eventually you break out, right? So that's the expectation. Now, if you match up what happened in wave 2, right? We did something like this, and then we came down, we went sideways, and then we went up, right? Let me show you that. And that would actually match up what's happening now. So again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have this structure. Same thing here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then potentially you might have this structure, right? So this is an A, B, C inside of a, you know, rise, crash, reaccumulation sort of ABC, and that's, you know, the amount of time you have here should be close to the amount of time you have in wave 4, because they're the same wave, they're the same degree of the same wave, right? So you have 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So 4 should match up more closely with wave 2. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, from a time perspective, that's what we're, you know, kind of explaining there. So the other idea, obviously, is this is a three-way move, and now we're going to work our way down and back test 50K. So A, B, C, and then go. And that would be the biggest drastic sort of situation. If that happened, then the Theta, you know, all the altcoins are for sure going to break their range. Or, I mean, I should say go down and back test their range if they've broken out. If they're still in their range, they might lose their range. So that's why it'll be interesting to see if that's what we get. So I'm kind of more neutral. I don't think we're going to get something that drastic. Now, I will change my mind if we lose the bull market support band, and especially these two lows here. But until then, you have to treat it as bullish, right? Because, you know, we back tested the bull market support band. We had a big impulse, and now we're basically trending sideways in here. So you know, we couldn't break it the first time, so we came down, killed some time, came back up. So now we're attempting again. So could this be a double top? Yeah, it could be a double top, but you know, double tops are meant to be broken, because a double top can easily be broken if we just come down here, retest the bull market support band, then make another attempt. So, like I said, there's going to be shenanigans, there's going to be fake outs, there's going to be, you know, all different types of deception going on the smaller time frame. So we just got to be level-headed, think clearly, know the ideas, know the macro situation, right? The Fed is going to pause. They're going to continue to pause. So if the market heard that a potential rate cut was coming, it could have shot the price up. So we'll see on the next meeting. But you know, if the economy gets too bad, they're going to be forced to cut. So what do they worry about? Inflation running away? Or do they worry about the economy getting worse? Well, you're basically stuck between a rock and a hard place. The Fed is trapped. So if they raise rates, the economy dies. If they lower rates, inflation goes up. So what sort of rigged deal is that? It's a scam. That's what we're living in, a financial scam. The biggest scam in human history is the central banking system. Period. The end. They have the power to print money out of thin air, loan it to the government with interest attached, then we, the taxpayer, have to pay it back plus interest. But the problem is, where does the interest come? Where does it come from if it was never created? Right? So that's why crypto, gold and silver, buying real assets, hodling, right? Betting against the debt, becoming your own central bank, stacking coins, right? Putting it in your vault and being your own bank, as opposed to, you know, not taking any risk, not taking any chances, staying in the dollar and hoping that, you know, things are going to work out. But I really doubt that. So something's got to give. The whole system is basically, 100 years old, right? The central banking way is hundreds of years old. And, it used to be things were backed by gold, but, to keep up with all the government spending, they had to ditch the gold standard so that they can basically hijack our monetary system and do whatever they want, right? And that type of central banking system breeds corruption. People go, why is there so much corruption in governments? It's because of the banking system, right? It's the dollar. It's everything surrounding that type of debt-based system that breeds corruption. But if you had transparency, if you had accountability, and if you had a gold standard and or blockchain, right, then things are going to be a lot better. So that's why I buy Bitcoin. That's why I hodl, is because not because I think Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million, but it should hedge against what the Fed is doing over time, right? I mean, that's the deal. So even if this is only 3 waves, so this could be an ABC, and we can come all the way back down to 30K and back test this level. And we actually talked about that many times. So that would be a freak capitulation. Now that's definitely, in the cards. If we have something incredible, we could actually pull back all the way back over here. And then in which case it wouldn't be so confident in another move to the upside. But it would look really, really good, right? It would look really good because that would be a 1-2, and this whole thing would be another 1-2, and it would probably go completely berserk after that. Just like Theta, right? When we look at Theta, it's kind of the same concept here. So basically, if you have a wave 1, and then you have another wave, right? Here's your wave 1, and then you have another wave that breaks it, and then you come all the way back down and back test the top of that wave 1, then what you have is a 1-2-1-2, which is very bullish. So just, go to Google and type in Elliott wave 1-2-1-2 bullish. It could also be bearish if it's going the other way, right? So just like Theta, we could see that in Bitcoin. So I did come out with a video weeks ago, or maybe it could have been a month ago, basically explaining worst case scenario of basically insurance, like let me see. Here we go. It's this one right here, crypto price insurance policy black swan event. So this is the video I was talking about. Sort of something like that, where there's some kind of, now in order for this to happen, right, you can say, well, where is this idea coming from? This is not normal. Well, no, the only way this would happen is if we had some kind of black swan event. Something happens. I don't know what it could be. It could be Binance going down. It could be another FTX. It could be a financial or banking or the stock market. I mean, anything. It could be a terrorist attack. It could be whatever, right? I mean, look at C19. I mean, that's what happened here. But usually when these types of events happen, that's the bottom. That marks the bottom. So if you had a crazy capitulation, if you had something gnarly like that, then that would be a very golden opportunity, in my opinion, to go long, because everybody's going to be running for the hills. Everybody's going to be crying and screaming and just get me out, right? But what happened, just like back over here, but that was actually the best opportunity to buy, right? Is you come down in here and you're back testing this range. Same thing here. You can come down and back test this range. And now that is very radical, very extreme idea. But, you know, just if that happens, just understand, you know, that's a good area to buy, right? And for me, if Theta did that, you would probably break, you know, if Bitcoin did something extreme like that, it would probably come way down here. So we would have something huge like this. Now, I don't know how it would look for Theta, but, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's just put it that way. But for now, there's nothing to be bearish about. Let's see if we get this dump or if we get a pump back into the range. All right, so let's look at total 3, and let's take a look at our fractal. Look at this. Now this is the other grand finale. Look at total 3. We came all the way down to the bull market support band, and we're bouncing off of it. That's exactly what we talked about. It's exactly what's happening. I mean, that was it right there. And then also, right, if you look at the fractal, let's see what we got here. So the fractal actually looks pretty bullish. Wow, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is like textbook perfect. Textbook perfection. We came all the way down to the bull market support band just like the fractal did, and now we're reversing exactly where the fractal should reverse, right? Or exactly where the price should reverse. So nice. Now, so the idea here, right? The idea here is to continue this movement, right? So this is the daily chart, so just be aware of that. But maybe a little pullback, get back up here, kind of go sideways, and then eventually just break out. Now, it's not going to be a straight line, right? You're going to have big dumps and pullbacks along the way, but that's kind of what you want to see here, is for this to be the bottom, right? So let's summarize here, right? So number 1, we have total 3 Wyckoff backtesting the bull market support band, totally lining up perfectly with the fractal, signaling the bottom is here, right? That's number 1. Number 2, you have Bitcoin at an all-time high, and you're basically in reaccumulation, revving up to break out, right? Now, we could come down lower. Again, we can come down and backtest this area. We can come down and backtest the bull market support band. As long as we're in the range, we're very, very bullish, and it's in a wave 4, looking for wave 5. The other thing that is very, very bullish is when you look at charts like Theta, right? We have beautiful Wyckoff structures taking place here. And even, right, XRP. Now, I already showed Theta, but look at XRP here, right? Let me see, where are you at? So XRP is also creating a Wyckoff structure right here. So look how beautiful this actually lines up. I mean, look at this. It's like textbook. You have a 3-wave move up. Same thing here. You come down, we come down. You have this 3-wave move up like this. Look at this. This 3-wave move actually was a double top. Same thing here, double top. And then what's really, really, really insane is look at the creek. See how it goes boom, 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 dump. Same thing here. Look at this. Boom, 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 dump. It's like literally the same exact thing. That's the creek right there. And we broke support. Same thing here. We broke support. So what should we see now? Right? Boom, 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 boom. We have 3 up, and then creek, down, liquidity grab, creek, down, liquidity grab. And now this pump to the upside, pullback. Pump to the upside, pull back, right? So it looks like we're on number 10 here. So you can kind of see right here, we have number 8, which is here. Then you have number 9, which is here. And then you have number 10, which is probably what we already got. So what next? Well, probably more upside. if it's going to play out. Now, it's 4-hour chart. It doesn't mean up in a straight line. It might take a little while. So if we zoom into the 10-minute chart, we had a nice sort of move down, right? Or basically an A, B, C, something like that. Or this could have been an A, B, C here, another 3. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2, 3. So I'm wondering if we're going to get 5, some kind of diagonal, or we'll see. But there's no sense of guessing or trying to predict the small time frames. So, just zoom out and, in my opinion, follow that Wyckoff example. It's still very, very on point. So the smaller time frames are going to play around up and down, but the larger time frames, what we want to see here is maybe a little move back to retest the lows and then continue higher. If we break this low, we still have this wick here, so we'll see how that plays. It would actually be okay if we break the low, because what we would have is 1, 2, 3. We would have a 3-way pullback. So this could have been your impulse. This is your 3-way pullback, and now we're starting to pump to the upside. So, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Definitely interesting things. So again, just that recap, right? We had the Bitcoin at all-time high, the total 3, the fractal, right? We're right at the bottom of that fractal. We have XRP, Theta, Avalanche. I mean, there's a lot of coins that are creating this type of creek and Wyckoff pattern. So we'll see if that pattern plays out. If it doesn't play out, then we still have the ABC, right? We still have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. This is B, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Get down to 30, between 33 and 37 cents, and then go up to the upside. So if this Wyckoff pattern fails, and it fails for Theta, then Theta is going to go down and do a 1, 2, 1, 2, probably. And if the Wyckoff fails with XRP, then it's going to finish this 5th wave. Just like I said yesterday in the video, the subtitle was, is it Wyckoff or is it finishing the 5th wave? That's kind of what we're waiting to see. I'm really liking the Wyckoff. The reason why I like it a lot is because of that total 3 fractal. But the only thing that's just kind of weighing on me a little bit is Bitcoin might need to come down again and retest that 64K area between 65 and 64. So if that's the case, then the question becomes, can the Wyckoff still be in play if Bitcoin breaks below this range here? And my answer to that is maybe. It could be, depending on how things hold up. We would have to look at things like Theta versus Bitcoin or XRP versus Bitcoin to see. Because if the move down for Bitcoin is more bearish for Bitcoin than it is the alts, then that means, the Wyckoff could still be in play. I mean, not just look at ADA. It's the same thing with ADA we talked about yesterday. I mean, here's your line here, right? And this is exactly what we talked about, right? Being a Wyckoff pattern. So we came down here, right? Everybody's bearish, and then we break the range. We broke it right there. And what did people do? It triggered this guy's stop loss, this person's stop loss, all probably hundreds of thousands of people, right? Maybe even millions of people's stop loss got triggered, and all that liquidity came in. People went short, and then what happens? Boom, you go right back to the upside. That is a classic Wyckoff accumulation, right? So, we're here, potentially here. So, you know, I can't stress enough how beautiful it looks. I mean, you have all of these points that connect here. We have three, we have three, we have the spring, we have the spring. So now what we want to see, again, we want to get back up here, hold it as support, and then play around just like we did here, and then break out. Now, if none of this happens, then we're going down in that fifth wave, right? So for ADA, right, and for all of them, we have one, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So I would like to see a Wyckoff breakout here instead of a fifth wave, because if you get a fifth wave, then you have more at risk of getting a three-way pullback and downside versus a three-wave move with a nice base here, accumulation base. You have more chance at getting through these retracement levels, if you know what I mean. So I mean, just look at SHIB. I mean, we're right literally on top of the bull market support band. And it too kind of looks like a nice spring. We have a nice three-way pullback, right? We came up, we took out the high, we grabbed liquidity. We came down, we took out the low, we grabbed more liquidity. Now, usually when they do that, right, here's a good lesson for us here. So here's your range, right? And what happens is, the market makers will play in the range. They'll establish support, they'll establish resistance, right? And then they go, okay, it's established. So then they come up and they take out the high. Everybody gets bullish. People go long, right? Because we're breaking out. And then bam, we come down, we go bearish, right? And then what happens? People go, okay, now we're gonna go down. We're gonna crash. So we go down, right? And then we actually take out the low. And it's the same thing, right? It gets everybody more bearish. Everybody goes short. And then what they do, they take it right back up. So, that's kind of a double fake out. That's basically like an expanded flat or some kind of flat pattern where you have A, B, C. You could see a flat. The reason they call it flat is because the price doesn't go anywhere. It basically flattened itself out, if you know what I mean. So when you get these flats and they complete, wherever the flat ends, usually you get that big bullish move after. So something like that. Now I'm not saying that's going to happen, and definitely not going to be in a straight line like that. But it has to make you wonder here, right? I mean, we're right on the bull market support band. We're right here on support. We actually broke support. So we're basically, this is do or die. This is basically, we need people to step up to the plate and buy the dip. If they, basically here's a bird in the hand, right? A golden opportunity. Are people going to take it? We'll see. Now SHIB has a lot further downside. If it was going to break here, A, B, C, it has a lot of downside potential here. That's why it makes it very risky, right? You just don't really know until things get confirmed. And what I'm looking for to confirm that is Bitcoin. Either coming down here and retesting that 63, 64, 65K area somewhere in here, or if we can put the retracement, if we can get above 69.75, or actually really 70K. If we can get back above 70K, it's going to look really good for the alts. For that Wyckoff to sort of play out there. So real quick, let's go to Ethereum. Let's see, Filecoin. Again, same thing with Filecoin. We broke the range. Is it Wyckoff? This is it right here. Same thing with Matic. Look at this. Here's our range. We broke the range. Is it Wyckoff? We'll see. Now, Matic is a little bit deep. I'm not sure if it's going to be Wyckoff. It could be a fifth wave, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're getting 5. And then we go. Or, again, is that a liquidity grab? We'll see. Dogecoin, right on the bull market support band. Again, big inflection point here. Now, where is Ethereum at? I just had it. There it is. Okay, so Ethereum is actually interesting to me because, in my opinion, I think that could have been the low right there. So I think that was the low. So look at this. So we have wave 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's get 5. That's what I really would like to see with Ethereum. If we can get that with Ethereum, then it's going to look really, really good for the altcoins. And I can't see why we couldn't get that, especially with the sell-off we had, right? We had a nice sell-off. But then also, the ETFs for Ethereum, right? But look at this. Look at this. We have an A, B, and C. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So we have a nice flat structure, a nice impulse. So let's see if we can have let me get rid of that. Let me go back down to the smaller time frame here. So if this is an ABC, let's pop the high here. That would be nice to see. So, basically a base getting formed in here and us breaking out. That's kind of what I want to see for Ethereum. But other than that, if we go down even further, luckily for Ethereum, we have the bull market support band sitting down here at 3,200, 3,300. So Ethereum came down approximately 13%, 14% off that ETF hype. So is that sufficient enough to reverse the price into that fifth wave, right? Or is this just going to be a 3-wave rally? Because that's always the tough part, is if we get 3, it's corrective. If we get 5, it's trending, right? It's impulsive. So my thing is, the fourth waves are always tricky because you don't know if this is going to reverse it after the 3-wave move or if this is a bullish pullback for that 5th wave. Because again, right, here's point A, here's point B. You're literally right in the middle between this point and this point, and you're in the middle, right? Like I said before, the most difficult things for technical analysis is the retracement levels and wave 4s and B waves. So those are the 3 things: a B wave, a 4th wave, and in the retracement level. And that's kind of where we're at, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're right in the middle of the retracement. So this is do or die. This is make it or break it. You see what I mean? So, but if we do make it, then we could look at the positiveness for things like XRP, Theta being Wyckoff structures, and I really like how, again, the creek came down for both Theta and XRP. So just going to have to wait and see. If I had to choose which way we're going to go, I would imagine a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation up. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. So let's flag out in here a little bit. We got the pump. So let's flag out and then get another pump, right? That's what I would imagine seeing happen. So, but anything can change. So we'll see. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to complete that Wyckoff structure? Or do you think we have to go down into the 5th wave into lower prices? Are you guys buying the dip? Are you guys waiting for lower prices? Let me know what you guys think. I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.